Hi everybody, it's Phil Roos, coming to you from Ann Arbor, Michigan again, continuing the series we introduced a couple weeks ago from down the street, where we're talking about disruptor-led innovation. And we're starting with what I think is one of the biggest disruptors facing our world, and that is the climate crisis that I think many of us are starting to feel personally. It's weighing on our minds, it's starting to affect our communities. I was in Lincoln, Nebraska last week, in the middle of May, and it was consistently in the 90+ degree range. Maybe that happens from time to time, but not for an extended period like that, while at the same time, a few hundred miles down the road in Denver, they were getting snow. We're starting to see more and more of those unusual weather patterns. They're starting to have an impact on our communities and on our psyche. What I want to do today in our series is to look at ways in which corporations are taking the lead in addressing climate. And thank you for those who sent suggestions along through social media or other places about examples out there of people who are companies that are taking the lead. What we see is that there are some companies that are trying to take a personal role in moving the needle on greenhouse gases, not just for the good of the world, but because their customers, their shareholders, their communities are demanding it. And many of them are actually innovating in a way that helps them thrive in a changing world. And that's what I want to focus on here. I want to start today by talking about the world of consumer products, because that's where I grew up. I started my career at Quaker Oats. By some estimates, that industry is responsible for as much as 1/3 of all greenhouse gases globally. So it really has an impact. I think there's an increased recognition within the industry that they play a role, whether it's in addressing farming practices or packaging or supply chain issues that can have an impact on climate, and they're trying to do something about it. I want to focus today on two companies who are responding by innovative in the area we call plant-based proteins. Sometimes it's called alternative meats. Recognizing the impact that meat production, classical farming practices have on greenhouse gases, and trying to do something about it and respond to the demand of many consumers who are trying to eat less meat. The first one is a company you probably heard of. It's called Beyond Meat. It's a company backed by Bill Gates that makes alternative meats and sausages, completely plant-based. They've estimated about a 99% reduction in water usage, 90+% reduction in greenhouse gases, and lots of health benefits from eating these products. They just recently did an initial public offering, and it's been one of the most successful IPOs of the last decade. They're building distribution rapidly. They're generating increased consumer interest. It's a business opportunity that will help them thrive in the future, and it's starting to reshape the way people think about eating meat and finding ways that they can eat less of it. Another entrant in the plant-based protein space that competes with Beyond Meat is a company called Impossible Foods. And you may have heard of their signature product, the Impossible Burger. You find it in a lot of restaurants. I think in about 35,000 restaurants and grocery stores they currently have distribution. They're getting lots of trial, lots of interest. One of my former employees, Little Caesars Pizza, just launched the Impossible Pizza last week in a select number of their restaurants. It's also a venture backed by Bill Gates and many other people you'd recognize. These are two companies that are leading the way in addressing climate change and also addressing health along the way. And they're doing it in a way that will make a real difference in the world, that will help move all of us toward the kind of behavior change that will address the problem, and it gives them an opportunity to thrive in a changing market. We're going to come back to you with more examples from other industries in sessions like this that follow. And again, I just want to invite everybody to share your examples with us, because it's really helpful to hear what you're thinking about and to uncover other examples of companies that are making a difference in this arena. So we'll see you soon. Thank you so much for tuning in.